Okay, so the next point I want to discuss is the difference between statistical significance versus clinical significance. So statistical significance is basically where you do math, or the researcher does math, and they find out whether the study is effective or not based on stats, based on data, based on math findings. Clinical significance is what the healthcare providers then decide based on the math. Okay, so I know it sounds really confusing right now, but I will go through it with an example. But again, statistical significance is when researchers use numbers to figure out whether the study works or not. Clinical significance is the conclusion, or is what the healthcare providers, so doctors, dentists, hygienists, what they decide at the end. So they'll look at the math and they'll decide, okay, yeah, this drug is effective, or okay, no, this drug is not effective. So let's just look at this example here. Let's just say I have 2,000 adults, and these adults are all generally very tired. Okay, these are adults that are very tired. And what I do is I randomly split them into two groups. 1,000 people or adults go here, another 1,000 adults go here. In this group, I give them an energy pill, okay, because they're always tired. So I want to try out this new energy pill that I made, and I give them the energy pill. The other group, they're given the placebo pill, which means that they think they're getting the energy pill, but they're actually not. Okay, so they're getting the placebo pill. And I tell them, use this pill for about a month. And then after a month, you come back and I ask you this question. On a scale of 1 to 20, with 1 being not tired at all and 20 being extremely tired, how tired are you after taking this pill? So let's say that this group over here, with the people that were given the energy pill, let's say before they said 18, and now they say, you know what, I'm 16 now. So I'm still tired, but not as bad as before. So the average, let's say most of the people here said that from 18, they went down to 16. Let's look at this group here. So people who got the placebo pill, what I noticed was that they went down by 1 point. It should actually say -2, sorry, and -1. But they go down by 1 point. So instead of 18, they were exhausted before, now they're at 17. So now, statistically significant basically means that did it work? Did the drug work? And here we see that it did work. Yes, from 18 they went down to 16. Clinical significance is, if I was a doctor, would I recommend this pill to all my patients? Think about that. If you're a doctor, would you recommend this pill, this energy pill, this one that I made, to your patients? If it was me, I would say no. And the reason is because it's not worth it. You're only dropping 2 points. If this pill gave me, a significant drop, so let's say I take this pill, and instead of being 18, I'm now like at a 5. Well, that's huge, and I would recommend that to my clients or to my patients. But in this case, if I'm just dropping 2 points, that's nothing. So statistically significant, yes, this is statistical significant because the math shows that it did work, it did go down, but is it clinically significant? No, it's not. It's not clinically significant because I would never recommend this pill because you're only going down 2 points. That's nothing. If you were going down a whole lot more points, then I would probably recommend it. So clinical significance, would the healthcare providers recommend it? What would they conclude? They would say, you know what, it's not beneficial. Let's look at one more example here. Let's say there's a new BP pill, a blood pressure pill that came out, and there's 200 people that volunteer to sign up to test out this drug. And let's say I randomly divide them into groups of 100. So this person over here or this group over here will get a blood pressure pill, this new pill, and this group over here, let's say, will get no pill. Okay, they will continue as is and no pill, or they could get a placebo pill. So they could get this pill over here that actually has just nothing, just sugar in it. Okay, so they think they're getting the BP pill, but they're actually not. So let's follow up with them over, maybe a period of a month or so, and they come back. And so before, their blood pressure was 132/90, so it was slightly elevated. And now, with this blood pressure pill, it dropped it dropped by 2. So it dropped from 132 to 130, and it dropped from 90 millimeters of mercury to 88 millimeters of mercury. So it did drop, right? And when you look at this one, they had the same BP, okay? So there was no change. So is it statistically significant? Yes, it is statistically significant because they did drop. They dropped by 2, from 132 to 130. So yes, it is statistically significant because when we got all their information, all those 100 people, we found that the average was that the BP did go down. Is it clinically significant? No, it's not clinically significant because a doctor would not recommend this pill because it just decreased the blood pressure by just 2 millimeters of mercury. That's nothing. I want to see from 132, I want it to go down to 125 maybe. I want a significant decrease, not, something that decrease ever so slightly. So when we say statistically significant, what we refer to is something called p-value, and I'll discuss this more in the next lecture. But p-value is a term that's used interchangeably with statistical significance. So p-value stands for what is the probability, P stands for probability, what is the probability that something would work or something would not work. And again, I'll go more into this later, but what I want you guys to know is that p-value is a number that is usually less than 1, as always, it has to be less than 1. So it could be 0.05, it could be 0.02, it could be 0.12. The key thing to know is that the lower the p-value, the better your study. Okay, the lower the p-value, the better your study. So let's say I gave you a multiple choice question in your test, and I ask you, I give you these 3 numbers, and I say, which p-value is the best? Like, which ones do we like to see in studies? Remember, you want to circle this one. You want to answer 0.02 because the lower the number, the stronger the study. Okay, so 0.02 here is a great p-value to see in studies because it shows that you have a strong study. And in the next lecture, we'll look at why. Why is it that the lower the number, the better the study.